If you're looking for a behind-the-scenes insight into music, you've come to the right place. Remember to subscribe to be notified of new content.
Many have said that music has healing properties. Well, in 2020, we have faced a 1 in 100 year event with the COVID-19 pandemic, and music is one element that has helped carry us through. But this pandemic has changed our life in so many ways, especially so for Australian singer-songwriters who were once accustomed to performing their music in a live setting. Join me as I unearth what goes on behind the scenes during these COVID times across the Australian music scene.
This is Behind the Music with LED.
Love like this before.
Hey, this is Greg Gould and I'm a singer-songwriter coming to you from Sydney, Australia, but I'm actually in Terrigal on the Central Coast, which is beautiful, and I'm by the pool. Hello. Yeah. It's been a real journey for me because I would first say I'm a vocalist. I'm quite a versatile vocalist, I would say. Record labels have tried to make me very pop. Managers have tried to push me in one direction, but the successes that I've had have actually been when I haven't put any label or genre on my music and just sung things that I felt. I would say I have a soulful voice, and most of what I do has a pop element to it. But I have a background in jazz music. The first professional gig I ever did, I was 14 years old, and I fronted a 40-piece brass band on a tour of the islands of Vanuatu. So I've done a lot of different things. I've yet to do a musical, so that's something that I would definitely be interested in down the track. It would have to be something a bit more edgy though, not very Broadway jump. But yeah, I look up to artists like Lady Gaga who don't really define themselves by one genre. You know, she can do Tony Bennett duet one day, and then she can do an electro pop record the next, and then she can be in The Star Is Born. So yeah, not a bad inspiration actually. I got into music at a very young age. I went to Johnny Young Talent Time, like a lot of my peers. And I think music was always what I wanted to do. There's not a memory of my childhood that didn't include singing. I've just always sung. A lot of people say I sang before I could talk. That was really the case for me, and it's just always been what I wanted to do. You know, it's a really tricky business. I had to define what success was. I think after doing Australia's Got Talent, I was the runner-up in 2013. I had my first foray with what it was like to get that instant fan base, and everyone was talking about you. Then all of a sudden the show's over, and then it's almost like it stops, and you have to really work hard after that, and I've done that. But I had to define what success was for me a long time ago. I'm very proud of the things that I've done. You know, I have a look back at my biography, and I've done some really great things, and I've had some great experiences. And as long as I'm continuing to do that, I'm going to enjoy the climb. And however big that mountain is, I don't care, because I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So what's important is that the work that I do is great, and I'm proud of the work that I do. Live music is so important. And when this COVID Armageddon business finishes, I implore everyone to please go and support live music even more so than you did before, because we're the ones that are really feeling it more. I mean, look, we're all feeling it, but we lost all of our work all at once, and, you know, live streams are fabulous, but that nothing compares to having a live audience. I was a live performer before I was a recording artist, so live performing is my biggest passion. Love getting in the studio, but I go in the studio in order to go and perform live. And for me, I released an album in April, and I've only been able to do one gig at Lozops in Newcastle, which was fabulous, to 50 people only because it was limited restrictions. And I just can't wait to go out and perform again, and to perform. Live music is where I feel, that's my home. That's where I feel there's no place like home. I'm an artist that's very grateful to have an online presence. I got my start obviously on Australia's Got Talent, so television was the first medium that I used to forge a career. But one of my music videos went viral in 2017. 20 million views later, I got to tour the world. So I think it's, the music industry has changed so much, and I recorded with people like Rhonda Birchmore and Maria Mercedes on my latest album that have shared what it used to be like. And there's pros and cons to the world now, but I'm very grateful to be able to do what I'm doing right now and communicate with fans. And without a record label, I've had the record deals, I've done all that stuff, but my biggest successes have been independent. And I think that's because of you guys, and because you can connect directly with the fans and the people that like your music and continue to grow it. And anything can happen online. You can look at Lizzo. She was a good example of someone who released that "Feeling Good as Hell" in 2016, and it blew up last year. And she just re-recorded it with Ariana Grande. Thank you very much. Thank you. Next. My biggest career highlight to date, which wouldn't be possible without the success of Don't Let Go, which is the video that went viral. I then got to re-record that song. The writer of Don't Let Go, as in the En Vogue, "Don't let go, how the way you do lose control." Check it out on iTunes, Spotify. The writer got wind of the song and introduced me to one of the lead singers of En Vogue, and I got to re-record the song as a duet with Maxine Jones. And then subsequently, because of the success of that, I got to tour the world. And one of my favourite gigs I ever did was Hamburg Pride, where a song that I wrote called "Today" was the official anthem. And that was incredible. To hear a song that you wrote sung back to you by over 100,000 people, it was just one of those pinch me moments. And it was amazing. Radio can be really hard. But they can also be a really great medium. I think Tina Arena said it really well. At her ARIA Hall of Fame speech, she sent a message out to Australian radio and implored them to not just meet their Australian quota of Australian music, but exceed it. And I couldn't agree more. But in terms of community radio, shout out to Joy in Melbourne. They've always been fabulous. Queer Radio Brisbane. There's so many of them. Power FM, Matt, you're amazing. So I'm really lucky. I'm very grateful for any radio that plays my songs. I'll never forget the first time I heard my song on the radio, and it's exactly the same every time you hear it. It's really important, and it's important to support community radio and your local radio stations. Okay, so social media. I like to live a life. I've got a partner. I have a job. I like to live a life and not live it on Facebook, but at the same time, it's hard not to. And as an artist, we have to do everything we can to get our music out there. So I love reading all the messages and the comments. So I enjoy social media, but I try to have, weekends off with my partner and go away. And I implore you guys to do it too. Whilst it's fun and it's a great way to connect with people and listen to new music, jump on Spotify. As an artist, obviously Spotify is my number one social media because that's the way that I connect with my fans the most, through my music. So jump on Greg Gould if you want to follow me. But yeah, I think social media is really important for an artist, but it's important not to live your life on there and live an actual life. So obviously I released an album during Armageddon. So I didn't get to do all the things I wanted to do with this album, which was tour it. So there's lots of things that were on my list of to-do list for 2020 that have now moved to 2021. And I've set some new goals already, but definitely lots of live shows. I want to hit the Pride circuit next year, more of the international stuff. I'd love to do more touring. So let's bunker down and beat this thing so we can all, gather and listen to live music and enjoy each other. But yeah, I've got huge plans for next year that I didn't get to achieve this year, and some new ones as well. My message to upcoming artists and budding singers out there, especially at a time like this, is to use this time to get creative, write lots of songs. Don't give up just because, the future is uncertain. Use this time wisely. Time is something as you get more successful, you don't have a lot of. So, get creative, write songs, practice, listen to music, jump online and YouTube your favorite artists or YouTube new artists, different genres, explore. use this time to discover who you really are as an artist, because that's really important.
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.